Hello, thank you for joining us today again for Bullhorn Academy's May webinar. As previously stated, my name is Jesse Eberens, and today we're actually going to look at publishing your jobs through Bullhorn. More specifically, we'll be covering our open source career portal, publishing jobs from your Bullhorn database, and then we'll see how you can easily review web responses to determine the next steps. Just as a heads up, we will be sending documentation to all attendees following this webinar. These articles will give you more insight into Bullhorn job publishing and information on our open source career portal, which we'll actually discuss now. The open source career portal, or OSCP for short, is a free customizable job portal that gives job seekers access to your published jobs. Without getting too technical, the OSCP is built using lightweight JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. In order to take advantage of this career portal, it needs to be hosted on your company's website. This means that your web host will need to be able to serve HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and JSON files. We highly recommend having a developer assist you in getting it uploaded, as it requires access to your website's control panel. After it's uploaded to your website, you'll need Bullhorn Support's assistance to get it connected to your database. We'll send out a link to our GitHub that covers this setup in greater detail. Out of the box, this is what you can expect it to look like. Your published jobs are listed on the right side, and on the left, candidates have the ability to filter your jobs by location and by the category that you specify within Bullhorn. They're also able to search through your jobs by using keywords, which is shown at the top left. Since this is open source, it can be customized by a developer that has JavaScript and CSS knowledge. So if you wanted your career portal to match the branding of your company, that's definitely possible. Besides changing the color scheme, which is all that this picture really shows, you can also show and hide certain fields, add your company's logo at the top and have it link back to your homepage, set up alternative filtering options, and more. I've personally seen what developers are capable of when it comes to customizing this. Sometimes, it's hard to even recognize that it's built off of the files that we provide. Another thing I want to discuss before beginning the demo are some of our job board integrations. Using Bullhorn's Jobcast feature, your database can be set up to post jobs to your career portal and to your Monster and/or Career Builder accounts simultaneously. If you're located in Australia, we also have an integration available with Seek. It's about 2:30 a.m. in Australia right now, so there's likely no one from there on this call, but they'll be able to catch the recording. We also offer a free syndication to Indeed that allows you to share your jobs on their platform. This service is independent of their sponsored jobs service. Back on the subject of our career portal, if you'd like to have it, please contact Bullhorn Support. They'll send you a form that you must fill out and send back. If you already have our career portal and you'd like to enable the ability to post to any of these job boards, please contact our support team. Now that we explored the open source career portal and some of our job board integrations, let me open Bullhorn and we can take a look at publishing jobs. Currently, I'm logged into an account that has the ability to publish jobs. So let me find the job I want to publish. In this demonstration, I'm going to find a job from the jobs list. Alternatively, you can also fast find for the job up here. I personally prefer working from this list directly, however. So I'm just going to filter the job title column for the job I want to publish, which is content developer. And I'm going to post this top job that you see here, the content developer job from Paper Planes LLC. Note that jobs you post to your career portal must be open, which this one is. Not only that, they have to have a certain publishing status, which occurs automatically when you publish it from Bullhorn. Right now, as you can see here on this publishing status column, it says not approved. Whenever we actually go through the process of publishing it, that's going to change automatically. Before I publish this job, I want to discuss a few fields that are pertinent when it comes to posting your jobs. So let me hop over to the Edit tab. Scroll down here. First is this published description. This is actually copied from the normal job description, which is actually the field right above this. The published description is what's shown alongside the job. So, for example, if the regular job description includes a client's contact information or salary details that you don't want exposed, you can remove it from the field. So I'm going to remove that right here. Below this, we can see published contact info. This field specifies the internal user that will receive email notifications when web responses come in for the job. This field is set on a per job basis, and it defaults to the user that creates the job record. If you want someone else to receive email notifications, you can add that internal user here. This field can only contain one user, so if you'd like the email to go to multiple users, I would recommend setting up a forwarding rule in your third-party email client. I actually see my name in this field, so I know everything is set and ready to go. So let me click Save here, and we can actually publish this job. To do that, you want to go to the Select an Action and just click Publish. Please note that publishing a job can also be done from the slide out on the list view by clicking on the binoculars icon. Okay, so this is the publishing job screen, and I want to talk about a few fields here. We can see the description, which excludes the salary information that I removed, the published category, the published contact recruiter, and a bunch of different places that I can post the job to on the left. The published category is simply the category assigned to this job. If I needed to update any of the information at this point, I can still do so before I publish it. If I move my mouse over the options on the left, you might notice that a lot of them are X'd out, except for this Indeed checkbox. This is because the job must be published to my career portal first. The reason I'm able to select Indeed is so the job gets sent there when I do click Publish. It is possible to have the Indeed checkbox checked automatically when opening the Publish screen. Contact Bullhorn support if you'd like to enable this. However, note that you'll need to be enabled for the Indeed syndication for the checkbox to actually do anything. Just as a heads up, jobs that are sent to Indeed are reviewed by them, are subject to their posting guidelines, and may take up to 4 hours to appear if they are approved. I don't actually want to publish this job to Indeed though, so I'm going to uncheck it. And let me just click the blue Publish button up here at the top, which is how you publish a job. And notice how the career portal switch here on the left is now on. If I hover over Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn at this point, you'll notice that I have the ability to log into my account and post a tweet or a status update, what have you. I'm not actually going to post to social media in this webinar, but we will be sending a follow-up article containing information on how to do so, and also an article that displays what the posting looks like on the platform you decide to share it on. If you're enabled with Jobcast, you'll need to fill in the required fields below before sending it to Career Builder or Monster. These fields are required by Career Builder, and then these ones are required by Monster. After you fill those out and select your desired account, you'll need to click the Publish button again so the job gets pushed there. Okay, since this job is published in my company's career portal, let's open it up and check it out. One thing that I actually forgot to mention about this portal is that it's responsive. So that means that it actually displays and scales properly on computers, tablets, and mobile devices. Pretty cool. Okay, so we can actually see the content developer job at the very top. I can also filter for it using keywords here if I wanted to. So let me just click on the job and we can take a look at it. So you can see the job description shows here, and this is really the candidate's view. This is where they're going to come to apply for the job. To do that, they're actually just going to click this Apply button right here, and then they'll need to fill in the required fields. In this case, first name, last name, email address, and you might notice that the mobile phone says optional. I don't have to enter this information in if I don't want to. However, attaching a resume is required. So I'm going to select Molly Mendoza's resume here and click Send. So it tells me, thank you. You will be contacted by a recruiter shortly. I just want to give you guys another little bit of information here. The message it displays can actually be edited by adjusting the necessary files that come with the career portal. As I did mention, just about everything in this career portal can be customized, which is the great thing about it being open source. So if you have a developer that has that knowledge, you can really basically do whatever you want with it. All right, now that we have a candidate who applied for the job, let's open up Bullhorn and check out their web response. You can actually view web responses from the submissions list. So I'll just go to Menu and Submissions, and it might be called the internal submissions list in your database. Since I'm working from this list directly, I'll filter the status column by web response, which is actually a default value. Don't confuse the status with the candidate status or the job status. There are 3 different statuses and it's easy to get confused with them. So the status right here, this is pertaining to this particular submission. So I filter that by web response. And I also recommend filtering the date added column in ascending order. That way, if you ever review web responses on, daily or what have you, you'll be able to come in here and view the most recent ones at the top. It looks like it's already filtered correctly for me though. Again, if you review applicants daily, I also recommend saving the search as a favorite. So I'll click Favorites and Save. And I'll just keep it as private here so that only I can see it. All right, so as we can see, Molly's web response is at the top of the list. She also has a status of new lead and a source of corporate website. Corporate website is always the source for applicants that come from the open source career portal. Her status is new lead because she did not already exist in my database, so Bullhorn created a candidate record for her. If she already had a record in my system, her status would be whatever it was already set as. One other thing that I want to talk about here is how Bullhorn handles resumes for candidates that already have a record in your system. So I'll just open her record here, and the resume she applied with is on the Files tab. Regardless if they were already in your database or not, Bullhorn will always attach the resume they applied with to the Files tab. Depending on your specific setup, which is determined when you're enabled with our career portal, one of 2 things will happen from here. The first thing is that the resume will be attached to the record and no existing field data will be overwritten. That means whatever the content is in the resume, nothing that you see here on this edit screen is going to be overwritten. The second thing that can happen is that the resume will be attached to the record and the data contained in the resume will automatically parse over this existing data. From my experience, most people opt to not override field data so they can review the resume before doing so. If you choose that you don't want to have data overwritten, that's perfectly fine. You can always hop back over to the Files tab, select the resume, and from the Selected dropdown, click Parse as existing. This allows you to choose the fields that will parse with the data from the resume. Since Molly is new to my database, this information already parsed into their necessary fields. So I'll go ahead and close her record here and go back to the submissions list. Back on this list, I can take action on web responses and determine if I want to move forward with a submission or not. So I'll select it here, and from the selected dropdown, click Change Status. So if I reviewed her resume and I determined that she wouldn't really be a good fit for this job, I would just click Change Status from that selected dropdown and just update it to Response Rejected or whatever status your company has set here. After that, I would just follow the normal protocol for my company when a candidate is rejected for a position. However, I do think that Molly is a good fit for the content developer job. So notice here that she's still selected. From the selected dropdown, I'm going to click Move to Submission. This pop-up is warning me that Molly's web response will be converted into a submission. Perfect, that's exactly what I want to happen. So I'll click Save. And you might notice that it's actually gone. That's because right now we're currently filtered for web response. So I'm going to clear all filters on my submissions list. And when I do, I'm able to see that Molly's web response is gone, and a submission, which is at the very top, was created in its place. Notice how the status changed to submitted. From here, I'm able to open the job record, navigate to the submission section, and proceed with my company's normal workflow, whether that be selecting it, moving it to a client submission, moving on with the next steps. That's what I would want to do. When this position inevitably becomes filled, I'll need to make sure I unpublish this job. I wouldn't want to just come over here to the Overview tab and click Close. Will this remove the job from my career portal? Yes, but it will not remove it from the job boards it was sent to. Plus, if somebody were to come in here and click Open after I had clicked Closed, it would automatically be published to my career portal again without the need to actually open that Publish screen. We still have some time left here, so I want to show everyone a few more things. Occasionally, you might want to view all jobs that are published to your career portal from within Bullhorn. That way, you can keep a running list directly in your database. So to do this, I'm just going to open my jobs list and clear all filters. And since I have this publishing status column already on my list, I'll filter the status for Publish Approved. Again, that status is set automatically when you click Publish on that Publish screen we looked at. Also, only open jobs display on the portal, so I'm going to go ahead and click Open. If I select this checkbox, I can see that there are currently 13 jobs published to my open source career portal. From here, I can open the preview slide out just by clicking these binoculars, Actions, and then Unpublish. All I have to do now is come over here and select this career portal switch in order to unpublish the job for my career portal. After I confirm my selection, the job is taken off of my portal immediately. Please note that this must be done on a job-by-job basis. If you're ever curious, you can open up the job record again. So I'm just opening up this content developer job. Go to the activity section, expand publish history, which is in this long list here. And I can actually see the date and time that this job was published and the date and time on the exact time that a job was published or unpublished. You can come here and view this information. If you ever have any specific questions on job publishing, I recommend coming in here and clicking this help icon, which is going to open up the Bullhorn Community for you. This is a great resource if you want to view basically anything related to Bullhorn. You have a lot of how-to questions. You need information on our career portal, how to get set up with it. So you would just come in here and click View All Topics. From here, just job publishing. And then you'd be able to select the subcategory under this. So if you wanted information, again, on our open source career portal or the Jobcast feature that I talked about, or Indeed, you can click that and then view the related articles here. Let me just get this PowerPoint back open. Sorry for what I wanted to cover today. So today, we looked at our open source career portal, which again is a free customizable job portal offered by Bullhorn, publishing jobs from your database. And then we looked at reviewing and determining web responses to determine the next steps. We also examined some of the job board integrations available within Bullhorn and picked up some helpful tips when it comes to posting your jobs. As mentioned, we do have documentation located in the Bullhorn community that will be sent out after this webinar. If you're an account or support contact, please don't hesitate to contact Bullhorn support by using the live chat functionality built within the Bullhorn community. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, thanks, Jesse. Now we're going to move directly into the Q&A portion of the webinar. So our first question is, we use Wix as our web host. Is it possible to have the career portal on our website?
Yes. So if you actually use Wix as your web host, Wix does not actually allow you access to a host control panel, which is commonly referred to as a control panel or cPanel. Because of this, it's not possible to directly host a career portal through Wix. However, with the developer's assistance, you can host a career portal on a different website that allows control panel or FTP access, and then iframe your career portal to display on your Wix website.
Thanks, Jesse. Next question. If a job is already published to my career portal, is it possible to bump it to the top of the list to make it appear as new?
Yeah, so you actually can bump a job to the top of the list pretty easily. So I open Bullhorn again, and this is the search. I want to publish this finance manager job. I can come in here, actions, click unpublish, which isn't actually going to unpublish it. It's just going to open up this publish screen. And it does need to have 300 characters here, so I'll go ahead and just copy and paste some random stuff and click republish. And when I do so, it tells me that the job was republished to my career portal. If I come back over here and clear my filters, you can see that it's actually bumped up here to the top. So again, that finance manager job that was actually down here, it says that it was just added a few seconds ago. So if you're not really getting a lot of traffic for a particular job, you can definitely republish it, and it's going to bring it to the top to give it a little bit more exposure for you.
Our next question is, I noticed that unassigned user was the user that added the web response. What's that about?
Oh yeah, the unassigned user. Let me actually open up the submissions list here so everybody could see what I'm talking about. This actually isn't a web response right here, but I'll use this as an example. We can see that it actually says it was added by the unassigned user. The unassigned user is actually a user account that your company has that's necessary for a lot of Bullhorn functionality. No one actually logs into this account, and it comes to you as no extra charge. With that said, the reason that web responses say they're added by the unassigned user is because it uses Bullhorn's REST API to add the record into your system, which defaults to that user. You can always go to the list view, as I did in the webinar, and change this name right here if you wanted to. So you could type in, Jesse Eberens, and just change who it was added by. Additionally, if I were to come in here and convert this one to a submission, as I did a few minutes ago, it would change that added by column automatically to the person that actually converted it to a submission. So great question.
And next question, is there anything I can send my developer that gives them technical details on your career portal?
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned here, we do actually have a GitHub. Let me open it up really quick here in a new tab. And it's very technical. There's a lot of information here, so I highly recommend that this gets sent directly to a developer if they're ever curious on, how to actually host their career portal, what that entails. But down here towards the bottom, you can actually see that there's Bullhorn Career Portal. They can check out the latest releases. We do update the career portal, so if there's issues with it or we implement new features in it, your developer would actually come here to upload the latest version of it. There's also documentation here that we offer on hosting it, on REST API in general, as well as the Bullhorn platform. So specifically for hosting, they would be able to come in here and just read basically how to host it on your website. If you use Amazon, if you use Azure, if you're going to use FTP to do that, all those directions are listed here, and it's kind of in developer talk. So again, as I kind of stated a few times now, this would be something that you would want to send to your developer directly. So great question.
And this next question I've actually seen come through a couple different times, so I want to make sure we cover it. But is the career portal any additional cost for a user?
No, the career portal, this open source career portal, it's completely free. It's offered by Bullhorn at no extra charge to you. Again, the only requirement is that it has to be hosted on your company's website. So, I mean, if you pay for your company's website through your domain host, you'll be able to just upload this at no extra charge. Again, if you're ever curious, you want this, you want more information on it, please don't hesitate to contact Bullhorn support. They'll be able to walk you through specifics and also send you an enablement form that tells you what needs to be done in order to get this uploaded to your website. Great question.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse. And I think we have a bunch of questions here, and we're not going to have time to get to them all. I'll be sure to follow up via email on all of these questions, but just one more before we wrap up. Apart from Monster and Career Builder and Indeed, what are other free job sites that you guys have been linked up in the back end?
Yeah, so from the open source career portal directly, I mean, these are definitely the ones that you can send them to. We do offer other integrations for job boards. I don't have the whole list here, but they are listed on our marketplace website, just marketplace.bullhorn.com if you're ever curious. I mean, there's a whole bunch that you could actually send your job to. And since it uses REST API, if let's say you wanted to post your jobs to a different website, your developer could get that set up through REST API to send the job to the desired location. So again, just marketplace.bullhorn.com, and you can check out all of our marketplace partners that are available to send your jobs to.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse. And for anybody that asked a question about the different job boards on the back end, we'll be sure to include that marketplace link in our follow-up email. So that's all the questions that we have time for today. If we didn't answer your question, again, we'll be sure to follow up. And as a reminder, you will receive a video recording of this webinar in the next 24 hours. Thank you, everyone.